Did you know that one careless word spoken in fear can block your abundance for years? Florence Scovel Shinn, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of the 20th century, said it best: "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your destiny." And modern science proves it too. Neuroscientists found that repeating affirmations for just 21 days can literally rewire the brain. So today, in this 2-hour deep dive, I'm going to walk you through powerful declarations, hidden blocks, and real-life testimonies that will show you exactly why your words are seeds, and how to plant only the ones that bring abundance, wealth, health, and joy. Because mistake number 2 is so common, most people unknowingly sabotage themselves every single day. If you're ready to change your reality, type ABUDNC in the comments right now. Let's begin. Most people say things like, "I can't afford it," or "nothing ever works out for me," without realizing that every word plants a seed of lack. Each negative statement builds a pattern in the subconscious that keeps repeating itself. Mary, a 32-year-old woman, always said, "I never have enough." Her bills piled up and nothing seemed to improve. But when she shifted to Shinn's affirmation, "God is my supply and I receive abundantly," within a month she received unexpected money and even a promotion. That's why it's so important to declare only what you want. Repeat after me. Every word I speak is a seed of abundance. I declare only prosperity, joy, and peace. But if words are seeds, let's talk about it. Fear plants seeds of exactly what you dread. People think preparing for the worst protects them, but in reality it attracts what they fear most. Neville Goddard said, "You will not attract what you want, but what you believe." John was drowning in debt and constantly repeated, "I'm afraid I'll never get out." When he flipped his declaration to, "I am fearless in faith, my supply is endless," within months his debt cleared through an unexpected contract. Say this now: "I walk in faith, not fear. What I seek is seeking me." But if fear is poison, resistance is quicksand. When you force, struggle, and push against circumstances, you create delays. Sarah, a teacher, "I must escape my job." Nothing changed. When she shifted to "I bless my present work," and the perfect opportunity now appears. She soon received an ideal new position. "I do not resist. I flow and life flows to me with ease." But resistance isn't the only block. There's another invisible seed that kills prosperity: complaint. Grumbling about money, work, or relationships multiplies what you dislike. A man I knew constantly said, "This city is terrible. Nothing good happens here." Within months he lost his job and his relationships. When he began blessing his city and affirming gratitude, everything shifted. Declare now: "I speak only praise. I plant gratitude and I harvest miracles." And if gratitude opens doors, unforgiveness locks them shut. Holding grudges is one of the fastest ways to block your good. Shinn wrote, "Resentment, resistance, and condemnation bind us to our troubles." Anna couldn't manifest love because she still hated her ex. Once she forgave him using, "I forgive everyone and I am free. I release and I let go," she met her soulmate within months. Repeat it: "I forgive, I release, I am free. My soil is fertile for miracles." But forgiveness alone isn't enough. Your vision must also be clear. Vague goals create vague results. David once said, "I want more money," and then got a $5 refund check. Florence Scovel Shinn warned that if you don't declare specifically, you may receive little scraps. So affirm, "I have a clear, perfect vision of my good, and it manifests now in divine order." Even with clear declarations, many still fail because they forget one crucial law: repetition. Seeds need watering. Saying an affirmation once and then forgetting it won't work. Studies show it takes 2166 days of repetition to create permanent new patterns in the brain. That's why Shinn insisted on daily practice. Say day by day, word by word, "My seeds of abundance grow stronger." But even repeated affirmations can be uprooted if you allow the wrong people into your garden. Your environment matters. If you surround yourself with negativity, other people's words can overwrite your own. Rachel kept affirming prosperity, but her friends mocked her. When she surrounded herself with supportive voices, her business suddenly took off. Guard your seeds with this declaration: "I protect my garden. Only words of life and abundance enter my world." But even with the right company, timing still plays a role. A farmer doesn't dig up his seed to check if it's growing. Impatience kills manifestation. Paul kept affirming love, but every week he would complain, "Why hasn't it come yet?" When he released the pressure and trusted divine timing, his relationship appeared. Affirm, "My good is on the way. I wait in joy, not doubt." And finally, the greatest seed of all is your declaration of identity. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that man's word is his wand filled with power. Neville Goddard said, "I am is the name of God." What follows "I am" shapes your destiny. Michael began declaring "I am wealth" every day. Within 6 months, his failing business turned into a thriving one. Speak this now: "I am abundance. I am wealth. I am health. I am love." So let's recap. Every declaration you make is a seed. Plant fear, you harvest fear. Plant faith, you harvest miracles. Shinn showed us that words are not empty. They are alive, creative, and magnetic. Tonight before bed, speak life over yourself. I am abundance. I am guided. I am wealthy in all ways. And watch how the soil of the universe responds. Which affirmation spoke to you most today? Comment below and share this with someone who needs a miracle right now. Remember this, your words are your wand. Speak only what you want, and miracles must follow. Many people ask, what if I've already spoken thousands of negative words in my past? Am I doomed to reap those weeds forever? The truth is comforting. You are not bound by your old words. Florence Scovel Shinn was very clear when she said, every negative situation can be dissolved by the spoken word. Think of your subconscious mind like a vast garden. For years you may have let weeds of fear, doubt, and complaint grow wild. But just as a wise gardener does not give up on a piece of land because weeds have overtaken it, you too can clear the soil of your subconscious. Each new declaration is like pulling out an old weed and planting a strong, healthy seed. You can begin canceling harmful past words with a phrase Shinn often taught. This word has no power. I now speak life and only good comes to me. Imagine yourself walking through your inner garden, uprooting each old phrase you once spoke in ignorance. I'll never be successful. Money is hard to come by. I always get sick. With each pull, declare it null and void, then plant a new affirmation of faith and abundance. The miracle is that the present always overrides the past. The moment you speak a new declaration with conviction, the soil of your subconscious begins to shift. Mary, who for years repeated, I can't afford anything, decided one night to cancel those words and instead say, God is my supply, and I receive abundantly. In less than a month, unexpected checks arrived, and even her employer recognized her value with a raise. Consistency matters, because it is not one affirmation that changes your life, but the repeated sowing of new seeds, day after day. Another question I often hear is, what if I don't believe the words I'm saying? Isn't it dishonest to affirm something I don't yet feel? That doubt is natural, but here is the secret: your subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts what it hears most often. Even if your conscious mind feels resistance, repetition wins. Imagine standing at the edge of a frozen lake, tapping lightly with a stick. At first nothing happens, but if you keep tapping, eventually they work the same way. At first they may feel weak, even silly, but repeated daily they break through old limiting beliefs. Sarah, a woman heartbroken after divorce, once whispered to me, I can't even say the words, I am loved, because it feels like a lie. I encouraged her to keep saying it anyway, especially before bed when the subconscious is most open. Every night she repetitively now floods my life. I attract my perfect partner. For weeks she felt nothing. But then, slowly, her energy began to shift. She smiled more, attracted new friends, and within months, she met the man who became her husband. At first, her words were seeds buried in hard ground, but repeated watering softened the soil, and eventually the seeds sprouted. Remember this: feelings are the fruit, words are the seeds. If you wait to feel abundant before declaring abundance, you'll wait forever. Instead, speak abundance now, and the feeling will follow. Now I want you to notice something extraordinary. Every breakthrough begins with a spoken shift. John was crushed by debt until he stopped repeating, I'll never escape, and instead declared, my supply is endless and I am fearless in faith. Mary struggled with lack until she replaced, I never have enough, with, I am richly supplied now and always. Michael was failing in business until he claimed, I am wealth, I am success. What changed wasn't luck, talent, or external conditions. It was the vibration of words. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her students, man must prepare for the thing he asks for when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight. Preparation begins with the mouth. When you speak what you want before you see it, you align yourself with the law of creation. You don't wait for evidence to declare, you declare, and then evidence appears. A farmer does not wait for a field of corn before planting seeds. He plants first, trusting that the unseen laws of nature will do the rest. Likewise, when you declare prosperity in a season of lack, you are sowing into invisible soil. Faith is the energy that waters the seed. John did not know where money would come from, but his declaration set a law in motion and new clients appeared. This is why your words are never wasted. Every declaration travels into unseen realms and calls forth its match. The world may call it coincidence, but spiritual law calls it harvest. Finally, remember this: your declarations don't just bless you. They ripple outward, shaping the lives of those around you. Every time you speak life over your children, your friends, your colleagues, you scatter seeds of abundance in their soil too. A mother once confessed to me that she constantly criticized her son, saying, he's so careless, he'll never do well. His grades dropped, and his confidence shattered. After reading Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings, she changed her words. Each morning she told him, you are wise, capable, and guided by divine intelligence. Within months, his attitude shifted, his grades improved, and he began believing in himself again. Her words created new soil in his subconscious. This is the law. What you declare multiplies not just for you but for those in your atmosphere. Speak blessings over your workplace and watch harmony grow. Speak health over your community and notice the energy rise. Speak prosperity over your family and see opportunities unfold. You are not just planting seeds for yourself, you are co-creating a field of miracles too vast to measure, and in that field, blessings multiply endlessly. When you understand this ripple effect, you'll never waste words on complaint again. You'll realize that every declaration is a gift, every word is a seed, and every harvest is waiting for the one who dares to speak life with faith.